Welcome back to this video. This is a continuation of the C# beginner series. If you are new here, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you are updated when a new video is dropped. Previously in the series, we have looked into the conditional statement. If you have not watched that, I strongly encourage us to do so. In this video, we'll be looking at what the for loop statement in C# is. The for statement is used to execute a code block for a specific number of times. So first off, maybe I start with what a loop is. So for example, we have races in sports, athletic sports, where for example we have the 10,000 meter race. And what happens there is we have a field which is 400 meters, and the runners keep going round and round and round many laps. So that basically is a loop where it continually does the same thing over and over and over again. But the for statement is used when we know how many times we are going around. So for example, when we have the 5,000 meter race, the 5,000 meter race is 12.5 times. You go around the field 12.5 times. So when you know the number of times you are going, you use the for loop. So it provides precise control over the loop initialization, the condition, and the iteration. And I'll be showing this quickly with an example. So the for loop syntax looks like this, where we have this is the initialization, and this is basically the same way we initialize variables in C#. We just say int I equals 0. Here we are saying that the loop is going to be an integer, so we are going through it for a number of times. So we want to start from maybe 0, for example. So you are saying that you want to start this particular loop at this point, so you are saying you are initializing it. So for example, you are initializing I, and you are saying you want to start from 0, but you need to tell it on how long does it continue, and we are saying as long as I is less than this length. So for example, if length is 5 and we are starting from 0, it means 0 is less than 5, 1 is less than 5, 2 is less than 5, 3 is less than 5, 4 is less than 5. But anything from 5 upward is no more less than 5. So for example, in that situation, anything above 5 will no more run in this loop. So how it works is the for loop, it says this is the initialization and stating where you want to start from. So if I want to start from 2, I say I equals to 2, for example. So it means I am saying I am starting from 2 and I want to continue while my I is less than 5. And the loop, for example, the iteration that I'm saying that, okay, I want to go, how do I want to go through the loop? I'm saying I++. Now, I++ just means increment by 1. So it's just the same to as saying I is equals to, so imagine I had I, and I say I is equals to I plus 1. So basically, this is what I++ is. For something like this, we could have done something like plus equals to 1. Yes, but even better than that, we could just use plus plus. So the program understands I++ to represent an incremental by 1. So it means that what we are saying here is we want to start from 2, and we want to keep going one step at a time. So we want to keep going 1, 2, 3, and then we are saying we want to continue until I is no more less than 5. So for example, here, if I come here and I say console.writeLine and I say I, so what will happen is we are starting from 2, it will console log 2, it will console log 3, it will console log 4, but after that it will stop because 5, by the time it gets to 5 will no more be less than 5. So if we run this, we should see that come out now, and we see it here 2, 3, 4, and that is where it stops. So but for example, let's say I wanted it to, so let's say I want to start from 0 and I run this again. You see we have all the way from 0, we have it all the way to 4. So you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I come here and I say I want it to be while it is I is less than or equals to 5. So for example, I'm starting from 0 and I want to continue while my I is less than or equals to 5. So if we run this now, we should find 5 inclusive there, because it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I is 5, 5 is still less than or equals to 5. So technically it will run for 5 also. But anything above 5 will no more satisfy this condition. So when it comes to the incremental, I could say I want it to I plus 5, 4. So it means I'm telling I that I want it to increment by 4. So for example, I will only have for the first one. So if we run this, you will see we have 0 and we have 4. And that will be the end of it. I'll let it come up. And you see we have 0 and we have 4. The reason why you are saying is that when it starts, it said I is 0 at the beginning, and it checks is 0 less than or equals to 5. Yes, it's less than or equals to 5, so it runs this. So it console logs 0. And then when it goes the next time, it increments from 0. It does 0 plus 4. So I now becomes 4. And it checks, is 4 less than 5? And our system says, yes, 4 is less than 5. And then it console logs 4. It goes back again and makes here, it becomes 4 plus 4, meaning 8. So I at this point is 8. It comes back to check, is 8 less than or equals to 5? No. And so it terminates at that point. So it comes out of this loop at that point. So this is the for loop. So, you know, basically, instead of writing it this way, usually what you will do is something like this. As you're saying, put 4, add 4 to whatever the current I is. That's basically what this means. And that will also perform the same operation. So if I were to come here, let me make this smaller, and I make this 15, and I run this, so we'll see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way to 14. Because even when it gets to 14, it will increment to 16. And 16 is no more satisfying this condition. So that will come out of our for loop. So basically, in your for loop, 3 things are important. First of all is the initialization, setting it to where you want it to start from. The second is the condition for which your for loop will continue running. So as long as this condition is satisfied, this will continue running. And then the last statement here will be the how I want to increment it. By what factor do I want to be incrementing it? You know, it's not necessary that it is just addition. You could say you want to be multiplying by 2. So for example, when I start, so for example, let me make this 1. When I is 1, it's going to be, it will start from 1. When it goes to the next iteration, it will be 1 times 2, that is 2. It goes to 2. When it goes to the next iteration, it will be 2 times 2, that's going to be 4. When it goes to the next iteration, it's going to be 4 times 2, that is 8. When it goes to the next iteration, it will be 8 times 2, that's 16. But you know, 16 is no more less than or equals to 15. And so it stops it. So if we run this now, we should see that. So we have 1, 2, 4, 8. We cannot show 16 here because 16 is greater than 15 and no more satisfies our condition. But when you are using the loops, you need to be very careful. So for example, imagine here I used 0 here, and I'm to run this now. And let's see what the console displays. So you see, it indefinitely is displaying zeros, and this is a problem because this is not what you want to achieve. It's not leaving the loop. It's continuously in this loop. So I'm going to just stop this. So it's continuously in the loop, running, and you need to be careful because your loop, imagine a relay runner that keeps running around the relay field. It will definitely wear out and use all its resources. And that's the same thing with computer. The more it continues going through the loop, if it does not have a place where it terminates and is endless, then there is likelihood that it will make use of too much resources and probably cause the system or server to crash. So let's be careful of how we use the for loop or loops in general. Let's be careful that we put in a way of exit. So for here, we are making sure that it's able to meet this exit. But if we set I to 0, it will never be able to meet this exit point. So that's something to note with for loop. So this basically is the for loop, and this is the syntax for for loop. I hope this was clear, and I hope it was very, very precise. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section and I'll definitely respond. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see us in the next video where we'll talk about the while loop and the do while loop. Thank you.